Hello and welcome back to the Loyal Sun Show. That's at the Loyal Suns on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, wherever you do social media. Follow us here, follow us there for Pitt sports content you will not want to miss. If you love being undefeated and hate Narduzzi's arbitrary commitment to conservative play calling and being secretive against bad opponents, this is the place for you. The Loyal Sun Show, a safe, sunshiny place for your Pitt athletics fix, brought to you by Big Shot Bob's. Gentlemen, we are the most undefeated team in college football right now. After a 45-7 thrashing of just an abysmal Wofford team.
Those games suck.
That was terrible.
That was not fun. It was fun to be back in the stadium and
could have been more fun.
The game, watching the game itself, that's as much of a chore as watching football can be.
Can we highlight a few positives before we get into the why does Narduzzi think that we have to run halfback draw every play against FCS teams? All right, what positives did we see? We won the game 45-7.
The defense was flawless aside from a play that was one of the more blatant offensive pass interferences I've ever seen. They allowed 51 yards up until that point, and there was no blown coverages, sound tackling, sacks. All the position groups looked good. Number one, the defense came ready to play.
There was no breaks in coverage in which the cornerback covering the play wasn't blatantly shoved to the ground when the ball was in the air. So that's a plus. 51 yards, that's unbelievable.
I mean, that's to be expected. I don't know if we want to hype it up too much, but it's a bad Wofford team, like we said. But unlike the offense, there are a lot of guys who we walked away from that stadium saying, that guy looked really good. That guy impressed me. Bam Breema, DeAndre Jules wasn't blockable. Dayon Hayes.
Dayon had a tackle for loss, a sack, and a really nice play where he covered the flat on a bubble screen super well on like the first two drives. And then Randy Bates was like, you come here and stand next to me for the rest of the game. We aren't putting any more of this on tape.
Yeah, Dayon looked like Dayon should look against an FCS opponent. But I think we've been talking about it all offseason that we wondering if he's just going to step up and be that guy. I think Dayon's going to be that guy this year. I think he's very well could be in line. Talk to us about his goal of being 10 sacks, 10 TFLs. I think that's very attainable and maybe even underselling what he could do this year.
I mean, he's a tenth of the way there after like a single drive.
Right. Yeah, I think the defense looked once again how they should have looked against that team, but no worries there yet, other than the OPI not being called. But how about offensively? Despite not being super impressed, they had 491 yards as a team. Didn't show much, and I think that was intentional. And once again, it was just kind of like a boring vanilla play scheme, but they also moved the ball fairly easily. Maybe a little disappointed that they didn't put up more than 45 points.
I might be on the opposite end of this argument of you two. I know you two are a big Narduzzi was too conservative, all this, all that. I saw enough from the offense to be okay. We ran the ball at will. The O-line asserted their dominance. Dan Carter was getting 5 yards a pop by just falling forward. And Phil threw enough passes that looked nice. And he scrambled, threw on the run. I saw enough. I don't want Rodney Hammond tweaking an ankle because we wanted to see him get 6 more carries or Bart getting landed on or anything stupid like that. I'm okay with that. Caveat, very slow start. We were pissed off in the first drive and a half.
Are you referring to the audible boos from the entire crowd when we ran a quarterback draw on 3rd and 22 on our first drive this season? Especially considering that, we only needed 10 yards to be in field goal range, yet they still opted to play for the punt and play field position football. Like, come on. I
don't know.
totally get.
Phil's an athlete. Maybe they were trying to catch him off guard. Pick up a quick 12 with Phil.
I don't love punting against
Ever.
FCS schools.
No.
That happened more than I would have liked against Wofford with our starters out there.
We punted twice, and shout out Caleb Junko, averaged 46 yards. That is absolutely something I can get used to. Yeah, I mean, it's just very clear what they were doing here. And I think it's so annoying and arbitrary. And we love Deuce. He's our guy, but this is absolutely one of the worst things about cheering for a Pat Narduzzi football team is you see other box scores like Oregon put up 81 yesterday. Like Syracuse put up 66. Like everybody kicks the shit out of their terrible FCS opponent that they have to pay millions of dollars to come into town, and they give the fan base a little something, bulk up every player's highlight package, run it up, feel good about yourself first week of the season. And Narduzzi is so committed to not showing his hand at all that our workhorse running back got 5 carries.
I'm not against
2 of them.
Good.
I'm not against that
back
at all. I don't think Rodney should have touched the ball more than 5 times.
I'm just using it as an example. I'm more than if they think Daniel Carter is going to win a football game, which he did, I'm more than comfortable with that. But it's more like I think it's more symbolic than anything. Like
I'm going to quote you here, David. Back in the spring, we talked about for the spring game, Hammond didn't play it. Did he play at all in the spring game? He might have had a couple carries.
Yeah,
Either way, we were saying Dan Carter got the workload because you couldn't injure him if you hit him with a sledgehammer over and over. And this was the spring game 2.0. This was the fall game against. It doesn't matter. You're going to win no matter what. So just let Dan Carter bulldoze his way through. He can't hurt that guy. I'm convinced.
I know, and I know my bitching is stupid, but it just comes back to the same central point every time we have one of these games. Yes, it makes sense to not put anything on paper or on film, but I wanted a 70-point win. For me, I wanted to see Phil throw for 400 yards. And I will say, I do think there's an element to it that's like, I mean, let these guys get into a rhythm. Let them knock off the cobwebs, because now we have to do that against an FBS opponent, a Power 5 opponent next week, who I'm not saying that this is something we should worry about, but they put up points against their shitty opponent this week. I'm not worried about Cincy yet, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, I think this is about what we expect. I mean, what did we all predict for our score prediction? I think I said 52-7. I think I was at
59-3, yeah.
56 to 10. We were all covering on the line Dylan made, which people told us was insane because a real line came out and was 38 points, and we made it 44.5, and they were covering until that push off.
It's funny that Vegas hit that line literally directly on the head. Actually, I got it at 37.5, so I'll take that cover. Another friend of ours got 38.5, so I'll take that W.
And was throwing a fit to end all fits walking out of the stadium. So
yeah, we should release that footage on Twitter. It was great.
So
we talk about our bets, our sportsbook bets, real quick.
Yeah, I nailed the Hammond first touchdown, and then standard issue. Dracovic gets the second one, and that play was awesome. That was awesome. He fooled the cameraman. He fooled the entire defense.
Yeah, Phil Vick looked spry.
Dracovic.
I forgot we were calling him Phil Vick yesterday.
So there was no defensive or special teams touchdown. Bummer. There was over 3.5 players with the sack, correct?
4.
Mm-hmm. I'll take that one. I was the only one that said there would be a receiver for get over 100 yards. Wasn't even close. Leading receiver, 39 yards. A lot of
Jake McConaughey had 39 yards, and Bub Means had 39 yards, and Gavin had 38. Sebo had 35. Mumpfield 34. I mean, No one even got above 40.
Jake McConaughey is our leading receiver for the 2023 season, as we all predicted.
Correct.
As annoying as I agree with you guys, as annoying as the conservative play calling was, there were a few moments, and I'd like to specifically highlight the sweet back shoulder throw over the middle to Gavin Bartholomew in the middle of 3 defenders. That got the juices flowing. That did what it needed to do.
Number 9 last year's making that throw.
No, absolutely not.
Is it just an obligatory, like, take a shot at Slovis anytime we give Dracovic a compliment this year?
There's going to be one jab an episode, I think. I mean, we could talk about how he's beat Sam Houston State 14-0.
Is that
2
what the
rushing
score was?
touchdowns, though?
Yep.
I didn't even look at the box score. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he threw for like
That's really
145
funny.
yards. Talk about playing conservative.
20 for 33, 145 yards, but 2 rushing touchdowns.
That
5
was the
carries
most
for 2 yards.
That was the most Josh Rosen stat line I've ever seen.
All right, back to Pitt.
Back to Pitt. Other cool moments. Continuing the tradition of Pitt just fumbling quarterback sneak snaps and the running back cleaning it up. Daniel Carter scored a touchdown doing what Rodney Hammond did at least once, possibly twice in the Sun Bowl. Just one-handing a fumbled snap and diving for a first down or a touchdown. Don't know what to make of there being now 2 data points for that, but it's a theme.
Let's just
guess-
make sure it doesn't happen again.
Let's not fumble the snaps, but I guess positive that we've been able to clean those up. I think that's more luck than design. So let's just not do that. If we're just pointing out random highlights of the game, how fast did Shea Nwabuko look on the end around?
Yeah, David was sitting up with his family about 15-ish rows in front of us. As soon as that play happened, we stood up and all just looked at each other, like pointing at David. Like, there's your
Whipped
boy.
around. He looked like the fastest human ever born on that play. It was very validating for us.
Yeah, that was cool. What else we got?
Matt Cannon is looking his chops.
Oh yeah. I mean, Dracovic was accurate-ish. He underthrew a couple, but 17 for 23 is 17 for 23.
I don't know if I said it earlier, but I'm going to say it again. Phil looked comfortable and confident. That's all I wanted to see out of him. He'd get to the back of his drop, make a decision. He'd throw it or he'd move. He wouldn't be a statue in there and he's taking hits. He would get out of the pocket, still look downfield, got through a few reads.
I was having PTSD when he wore that really deep sack, like the second play of the first drive, and then the rest of the game, they just couldn't get him on the ground. He was just throwing away defenders.
Oh, yeah,
They
targeted him. They had to eject that guy.
It was so refreshing to see a mobile quarterback. People have made Big Ben comparisons, and I've rolled my eyes because it's like, oh, just a giant fat quarterback. But no, there were a couple plays where he was just manhandling dudes and getting
Like
passes
shoulder
off.
shrug.
Yes, it was reminiscent of Big Ben.
Yeah, I think after yesterday, I know it's been all off season. Can Phil be better than Keaton? And if so, the offense will be better. I feel fairly comfortable after yesterday and all the stuff we've heard through camp and through the spring that the quarterback situation is better than it was last year. He knows how to run Cignetti's offense, and I feel pretty good, honestly, about where the offense stands. I think Rodney Hammond's going to have a big year. I think the big thing is just keeping those O linemen up front healthy.
Here's a scenario. What if our offensive line is that good and we can just do the same game plan every week? Just give Dan Carter 20 carries. He'll get like 95 yards and we'll keep moving the chains, baby. What if nobody can stop Dan Carter all year?
Please don't give me another year where Pitt just does the bare minimum to win every single week. Just strategically does as little as they can to win football games as possible. Please dear God, no.
Just win, baby.
So I think we've talked all we can about the game. Any thoughts about that kick-ass fucking tailgate yesterday?
How about Chris Bickle stopping by?
We're kind of a lightning rod for the. I mean, obviously we are the most important Pitt media members that there are. I couldn't think of another, more pertinent journalist or member of the media that covers Pitt sports better than us. But a little bit of a lightning rod of a lot of parents of players, a lot of media and people on Pitt stop by. So if you don't have plans on a Saturday, you do now.
Yeah, Chris Bickle, man of the people for many reasons.
Just firing up Oakland Originals, the Wiz song when Chris Bickle shows up. I was just like, yeah, we've made it. Here we are.
I think Chris Bickle saying he liked my Sopranos video. I didn't make it. Brandon
Well, you were the
Shimura on
star.
Instagram made it. I just drove around with a cigar in my mouth for like 3 hours. Chris Bickle saying he loved that video was just like, I've done it. I've got nothing left to do on this earth.
I bet we could get him to hide when he inevitably pays for and builds new Pitt Stadium. I wonder if we can get him to sneak a still shot from that video somewhere into the graphics, the banners, or just bury it in the cement so that you are forever a part of the story of Pitt football.
How about the
know.
wings?
I think if we keep feeding him Big Shot Bob's wings, I think we might be able to just get get ourselves our own seats, specially designed seats in the stadium. I say we shoot high.
Dylan, that's the best idea I have ever heard. Just do everything possible to get tricked out recliner sofas in the new Pitt Stadium.
Put that in the notes, the shared note.
Put that in the shared note. Yeah, no, the wings were great. It was the rare flawless tailgate for us where there was a ton of food, didn't run out of beer, and the tailgate TV worked, and we watched Deion Sanders unfortunately look awesome as a head coach.
We're not talking about that. What were your favorite wing flavors?
Dude, the Quip 6 is so good.
Lil Broski's unbelievable.
Black Magic was pretty good, but I think Quipstick is still my favorite of all time.
It's yeah.
So with that being said, anyone who didn't come to the tailgate yesterday, please stop by. I know we put it out there and say, look for the flag. Seriously, we want people to come by. It's fun meeting everyone. A who's who of Pitt fans, Pitt boosters, Pitt media. So
Pitt Twitter. Yeah,
Pitt Twitter. So seriously, if you're thinking about maybe I'll look, we're gonna try to be in 1B every week. If you're tailgating on one of the further lots, you're gonna walk by us anyway. Stop by, say what's up, grab some wings, grab a beer. We're back.
We are so back.
That's what it's all about, baby.
It is football season.
Wow, that feels good.
Oh my God.
On to the Bearcats.
Cincinnati, 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 Cincinnati.
The River City rivalry.
They better have the trophy.
They don't have the trophy, we riot.
At a wheel, right? I'm looking for it right now. Yeah, the paddle wheel trophy. Ooh. Side note, let's make our own and have it in the gold lot.
Oh. Can't be that hard.
It's scared. 95 pounds.
Dudes will be lifting up with one arm.
That's really excessive.
That feels a little unnecessary, but
well,
all right.
We'll have plenty of time to talk about Cincinnati Wednesday. Wednesday, which is probably a good transition to let the listeners know. We are changing up our format for the 2023 season. We will be releasing 2 episodes per week. That is double the Loyal Sons coverage. What we're going to try to do is have something out early Sunday, a game recap. We attempted to do, well, I won't give it away yet because I still think it's a really cool idea that you guys will enjoy. We just had some technical issues yesterday because we did not attempt once to iron them out before trying to do the damn thing. But we will have a game recap every Sunday. And then on Wednesdays, we will release basically clean up to a preview of the next game, get journalists from opposing schools to come and talk about them, other guests, players, and then, just general discussion. I don't know. You've listened to our podcast. You know what we do.
Loyal Sun stuff.
Loyal Sun stuff. So get excited for that. I know we
look on Twitter and Instagram. Look on Twitter and Instagram. We got a lot of great videos. We did some trivia. We did some interviews. We did all kinds of stuff in the gold lot and on the way to the stadium. So if you're in those videos, stay tuned. If you weren't, come by. We'll find you next week, maybe.
Dylan played a game of name random Whippeal legends with the Post-Gazette's Mike White. That was great. So a lot of really good stuff coming to you guys. Dylan, want to take us out?
Yeah. I'm still hurting from yesterday, so let's get out of here. Pitt's undefeated, fellas. We're 1-0. On to the next week. It's great to be back. Football season is back. As always, hail Loyal Sons of Pittsburgh.
Are you or someone you know looking for work in a recession-proof industry? Are you someone that's interested in things like having health care, having a 401k, immediate PTO accrual, an employee assistance program, or referral payouts? Our newest sponsor, Haddad Accelerated Delivery, an Amazon delivery partner, is looking for safety-minded and dependable drivers to join their delivery service team. Be a part of a company that will encourage self-ownership and award bonuses based on exceptional safety and delivery efforts. This is the ideal gig for individuals seeking full-time work or students interested in making some pretty good money during breaks. If you or someone you know is safety-focused, hardworking, organized, efficient, and team-oriented, text HADD to 464-646 to apply. I understand that is an impossible string of letters and numbers, so here it is again. That's HADD to 464-646. For a job that's the total package, get it? Because, it's deliveries. Haddad Accelerated Delivery is the place for you. Hey, Panther Nation. Have you ever crashed your spin scooter going down Cardiac Hill? Or wiped out on an icy sidewalk in South Oakland? Have you ever been hit by a bus crossing Forbes Avenue? Well, you may not have to pay that hospital bill on your own. If you're hurt in an accident, pick up the phone and call Guido at Gurrera Law. Guido Gurrera is a University of Pittsburgh Law School grad, Pitt football superfan, and experienced personal injury attorney who's licensed in Pennsylvania and Ohio. And it is 100% free to call him for consultation on your personal injury case. So the next time you get rear-ended in Oakland rush hour traffic, or if you fall down the stairs at Peters, call Guido. All joking aside, Oakland and the world can be a very dangerous place. If you need legal help, talk to Guido. He'll treat you like a fellow Pitt fan and never like a number. 412-229-7757 is the number to call. That's 412-229-7757 to call Guido. You can also contact Gurrera Law at gurreralaw.com. That's Gurrera. Call Guido today.